There's a moment in every project where you have to stop building and start showing. You can work on something in private for months, years even, and as long as nobody sees it, you can tell yourself it's great. But the second you put it in front of another human being, that illusion ends. I put Guardian's Quest in front of 8 people, and what they told me changed the entire game. I've been building Guardian's Quest for months, and I'd reached a point where I couldn't tell anymore if it was fun. I played it so many times that every battle, every menu, every interaction felt like muscle memory. I wasn't experiencing the game anymore, I was just operating it. So I decided to put in front of real people, and for that I used TestFlight. For anyone who doesn't know, TestFlight is Apple's official platform for beta testing iOS maps. Before your app goes live on the App Store, TestFlight lets you share a pre-release version with testers. You upload your build through App Store Connect, Apple reviews it, and once it's approved, you can invite people by email or by sharing a public link. Testers install a separate TestFlight app on their phone, and from there they can download and update your beta just like a regular app. The whole process is free, and Apple gives you up to 10,000 external testers per app. For a solo developer, it's one of the most important tools in your toolkit, because it's the bridge between it works on my phone and it works on someone else's. On the Android side, Google Play has a similar system with open and closed testing tracks, but since Guardian's Quest was running on iOS first, TestFlight was just the way to go. I picked 8 people, friends, people I trusted, to be honest. I sent them the invite link, they signed through TestFlight, and the build went out. And then I waited. No instructions, no questionnaire, no please rate these 5 items on a scale of 1 to 10. Just play it and tell me what you think. In hindsight, that was both the best and worst decision I could have made. Here's what I learned. When you say tell me what you think to 8 different people, you get 8 wildly different responses. Or more accurately, you get about 5 types of responses. Type 1, the essay. One person sent me a full document, paragraphs, screenshots, detailed notes on every screen, every mechanic, every bug they found. This is the tester you dream about. If you have one of these people in your life, never let them go. The type 2 is the voice note. A couple of people send me audio messages. Yeah, so I was playing and this part felt like long and I didn't really get why this button was there, but the creatures are cool, etc, etc. Raw, unfiltered, and surprisingly useful because you can hear the confusion in their voice. The type 3 is the one-liner, the it's cool. That's it. No details, no context, just cool, thanks, very helpful. Type 4 is the polite exit. These are people who said something like, yeah, it's nice, looks good, and then never mention again. They played it once, maybe twice, and moved on. They didn't want to hurt your feelings, so they say something vague and disappear. And the type 5 is the ghost, the ones who sign up, install the game, and never said a word. Not a complaint, not a compliment, nothing. Now, the ghosts and the polite exits are giving you feedback too. They're telling you the game didn't grab them enough to form an opinion worth sharing. But there's the thing, the ghost is actually the person I wanted to hear from the most, because when someone plays your game and has nothing to say, chances are they didn't enjoy it. And they're just being nice by saying nothing instead of saying something negative. And that's exactly the feedback I needed, not the praise, not the it's cool. I needed someone to tell me what was working and what wasn't. Negative feedback at this stage of development is the most valuable thing you can receive. It's the thing that actually moves the needle. The essay person told me what to fix. The ghost person told me there was something to fix without saying a single word. If you're ever testing something you build, pay attention to who goes quiet. That silence is telling you something. From the people who actually engaged, 2 things came up over and over. First, the battles were too long and too repetitive. At the time, every guardian had 4 attacks. Players could swap guardians mid-fight, use items, make tactical decisions every turn. On paper, that's death. In practice, it meant a single battle could drag on for minutes. And when you're doing that repeatedly, it stops being fun. It becomes a chore. Second, the visual design of the game needed serious work. Not the Guardian art itself, but the game around it. The menus, the layout, the overall feel. It looked like it was a functional prototype, not a finished product. And players feel that. Even if they can't articulate it, they feel the difference between a game that looks polished and one that doesn't. Both of these were things I already suspected, deep down, but suspecting something and hearing someone else say it are two very different experiences. I didn't react first. I couldn't. When you've spent months building something, your first instinct when someone criticizes it is to defend it, of course. They don't understand the vision, they didn't play long enough, it's just a prototype, the final version will be different, and etc. I've spent about a week in that headspace, reading the feedbacks, rereading it, arguing with it in my head and finding reasons why they were wrong. And then slowly I started to realize something uncomfortable. They weren't wrong, I was just attached. I've built those systems, the 4-attack system, the item system, the mid-battle swapping. I spent weeks on each one, and being told they needed to go felt like being told those weeks were wasted. But they weren't wasted, they were research. I had to build the complex version to understand why the simple version was better. That realization took a full week to land. And once it did, I got to work. I stripped the battle system down to its core, removed the 4 attacks, gave each guardian one signature move, removed the items from battles entirely, and removed players' control during the fight. The battle became automatic. Your strategy is your lineup, how you build your team, what order you place them in, and which types you prioritize. That's the game. The battle is just the result of your decisions. I added speed controls so players could watch it at 1x, 2x, or 3x, their time, their choice, and I started working on the visual side. Not just the Guardian art, which was already in great shape, but the game itself. The menus, the flow, the feel, making it look like a game someone would actually want to open. None of this would have happened without those 8 people, without the essay, the voice, the notes, the one-liners, the polite exits, and yes, even the ghosts. Feedback isn't comfortable, it's not supposed to be, but it's the only shortcut that actually works. The next round of testing is coming, and this time I want more voices in the room. If you want to be one of the first to play Guardian's Quest and help shape what it becomes, the Patreon is where that happens. Supporters get early access to builds and a direct line to share feedback. Subscribe if you're following the journey. And if you've ever had to deal with tough feedbacks on something you build, tell me about it in the comments. I want to hear your story. This is Unnin Games. Let's build.